Okay, folks, so I have a little update on the tire Firestone fiasco. So, if you look at my tires, you will notice, yeah, that is raised white lettering. Although it looks blue because it's brand new. And if you're thinking, oh, did you go back and they actually did it right? You'd be correct. I was disappointed enough after the incident with what happened, which if you don't know, go watch the video I made about a week ago about it. So we called Firestone, and it was the same guy that was at the front desk when we were there who we had to fight with to give us the right price. Basically, we told him what happened. He was pissed. Not that he said anything, but you could tell. I mean, he was like, when we called, we told him what happened. We were like, can we get this fixed Tuesday at 3 work? Okay, see you then. He was not happy. Which, I mean, whatever. He can screw off. He knows what he did. Tuesday came. We dropped the truck off. See, I was smart this time. See, last time, I gave him the key for the truck, which is right here on my key ring. Well, this time I was smart, and I gave him my spare key with a keychain attached to it and no other keys, because frankly, they would take a picture of my other keys and my Saturn key, and then, I don't know, they seemed like they would have. But, so I gave him that, took the truck right in. I was outside watching. It did take a little long. We were there probably 45 minutes, so it was a little long, but it was a different technician, which I was happy about because of the valve stem incident. It was a totally different technician who seemed to know what he was doing. He was able to do it pretty quickly, which is pretty good. You know, once you get good at mounting and dismounting tires, you can get pretty fast at it. And he took it straight in, flipped them around. Sure enough, these are the same 4 tires. So the guy in the front, if you're watching this, I know your name, but I don't want to get too... I'm not going to say which location it was either. I think I didn't do it in the last video. I'm not going to do it now. But he brought it back out. The valve stem caps were all there, which if you're wondering, I ended up taking the valve last time when there was one missing. I just took the one off the spare tire on the Saturn because it's in the trunk, so it's not like there's going to get dirt or anything in it. And even when we went in, we just said, hey, 3 o'clock appointment to get the tire slipped around. The guy, it was the same guy, the one who fought with us. He was just like, all right, you have the key. All I need is keys. Give him the keys. All right, we'll have it done soon. And when we came back, see, we were sitting out in the parking lot the whole time watching, so we knew when he was done. So we managed to go in there right as he was dropping the keys back off at the key drop. And essentially, he got the keys back. We were in the waiting room. There were probably 5 other people. And he says, all right, here's your keys. Done. Thank you. All right, bye. He was, honestly, I was a little shocked, to say the least. He was a little bit happier than I was expecting. Well, I don't know if he was happy, but he wasn't emotional. And that's the sound of a GM 3.6 timing chain about to explode. Anyways, so, yeah, I mean, like I said, I made sure to watch because I had a feeling, I didn't think they would, but I wanted to make sure they weren't going to take like some old junky tires and put them on there, which these are the same ones. They have probably 350 miles on them now, so they're not as clean looking, but they still have some of the paint on them. And, yeah, so we were victorious against Firestone. Now, even though my experience there was surprisingly pleasant, would I go back? No. Definitely not. I should have just waited an extra day or two and gone to discount tire, which I had the tires on the Explorer done. Well, I don't know, because the front and the backs were put on at different points, but I had 2 of them done there, and it was a no-nonsense, no-bullshit situation, and I said to myself, that's where I'm going to go next time, too. Well, I didn't end up going, and I probably should have, but either way, essentially, yeah. So even though my experience was good, I wouldn't go back. I had one of my mom's friends actually went there because it's a full, it is a complete auto care center. They do oil changes and alignments and brakes and all that. It is a, you know, they're not, I don't think they do like engine replacements, but that's really, you have to go to a special shop for that. But either way, she had a friend go there because he had like some sort of like clicking almost when he was steering and turning, almost like a loose tie rod end or something. And he doesn't know anything about cars, but he went there and said, hey, can you just check out what this is for me? And they told him he needed new struts all the way around, new tie rod ends, new sway bar links, basically a whole new suspension, new rack and pinion. He needed like a whole new steering system and suspension system, which would have been like a lot of money, multiple thousands of dollars, because they also upcharge. But he ended up getting a second opinion from some guy who basically told him, oh, you just have a bolt that's missing, which he ended up paying them. But I don't know, it does sound a little sketchy to me that if you have some clicking going on, like almost as if it's a loose tie rod end when you turn the wheel, like when it's off like this, a bolt, I don't know. But does it need a whole new 4 struts all the way around and new rack and pinion, new steering, or not new steering, new tie rod ends, new sway bar links, new struts? No, fuck that. So yeah, classic. I mean, I can't blame them because that's probably what they're trained to do. They're probably trained to upsell so they can make money. But yeah, so we were victorious. Again, and to be fair, these tires, for what they are, these are, you know, mid-grade tires. They're not bad. I've never had Firestones on a vehicle before, but they're all right. I don't know if I'd buy them again necessarily, but they're fine. They work. That's about all there is to them. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. They're a little expensive, but this is also a huge tire. The spare tire on this truck, which this truck did not come with a spare tire, so I had to buy a spare tire. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it because it may be upside down. It probably is, yeah. That is a Goodyear Wrangler tire, which it does have raised white lettering, but it's facing upward. That tire literally has 100 miles on it. I bought it on Facebook Marketplace with the rim and everything for like $40. I had to drive a little ways, but I was like, that's worth it. Because obviously you need a spare tire. And the only thing about it is not the correct size. The problem is, these are 6-lug wheels. Now, the problem is, these are 18s, and they did make a 17-inch version that was 245, 65, 17. These are 265, 60, 18. Well, the Explorer over there has 245, 65, 17s. So theoretically, I could have just taken the spare out of that and put it under here, but then again, that's a 5-lug, this is a 6. So that tire is actually a 245, 65, 17, not a 265, 60, 18. But it's a 6-lug, so it will fit on this truck. However, it is not, it's a correct OEM size, but it's not the correct size for this truck, so you don't want to drive too far on it, considering these are 18s and that's a 17. But, you know, to get me home, get me to the tire shop, whatever, it'll be fine. It's a lot better than not having a spare. So, yeah, and then the quick tangent, the Saturn over here. This car has Century tires, which are a cheap Chinese budget brand from Walmart. I think they're like Touring. They just say Touring. But these are 185 65 14s. These are absolutely tiny. But they match. And they have decent tread. Yeah, look at that sidewall flex. They have decent tread. They do not grip the road well at all. Honestly, they're better than I was expecting them to be. For how, I mean, these are like $70 tires new. I'm gonna open the trunk now, and I'm gonna show you something. You have to open it like that because the key doesn't work. But so what's interesting is that, yeah, don't mind the trunk or that. Just have to fill it up every time I get gas. No problem. The spare tire is supposed to be a donut in this car, but the guy who put those tires on actually bought a 5th wheel and tire. That's a full size. See, the valve stem cap's gone. So this is what those tires look like new. They have decent tread, of course, and it weighs practically nothing. It's also jammed in there. So it is nice for how cheap and crappy this car is. It does have a full size spare, even though it does not fit in the tire well at all. Which is a lot better than a donut. I hate donuts. But yeah, so even though they're not great tires, at least it has a full size spare, since most, you know, this car wasn't supposed to. But yeah. I don't know how long these tires have left. I think they're from like 2020, so I don't know. This car's so old and so beat up that when these tires go, I'll probably just get used tires, or I'll just replace them one by one, whichever ones get flat and bald first, because this is just a cheap beater car, and I don't think I'm even going to spend the money on new tires for it. But either way, so yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. Victorious over Firestone. And to that Firestone, go fuck yourself, honestly. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe and click like. And follow me on the web at Isaac24.com. Take care.